What's up, guys? I'm Uncle Freedom, coming to you on a glorious and well-deserved morning after I got off work. I went to work about 16 hours ago, so hooray for that. But this morning I had a raid on a house. We took down some drug people, and it was what it was. But that actually leads me to this video. There is a piece of gear that I have been running now for several months, and I am so incredibly impressed by it that I've been wanting to do the video on it, but I really wanted more time on it. And at this point, like, it's just a proven piece of kit. It's amazing, and I want to tell you guys all about it. But first things first, do the whole YouTube thing, you know, like, subscribe, share, do that. That's how we push out more content. I would also tell you to take a minute and check out my friends over at outlastsupply.com. Fantastic people over there, true supporters of the Second Amendment and true supporters of yours truly. You can also order stuff that I'm going to show today from them. Like, legit, like, you don't even got to go through the freaking speakeasy to get to this stuff. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about a pack, and we're going to talk about a pack from my favorite pack company, Eberlestock. They are an affiliate of yours truly. They are awesome people. They make amazing bags. I have a lot of them, but we're going to talk about one specific bag today, and that bag is the Mission EMOD Mission Medic pack. This thing is awesome. Now, is this bag, first let's just start here. Is this bag for everyone? No. It would have pretty good use. The organization, which I'll show you in a second, would be useful for someone who was carrying a bunch of different stuff, tools, even on the range, like, useful there. But what it's designed for and what it's used for is people like me. Guys that are the designated medic. If something goes wrong, when we do something like raid a house for a bunch of drug people and something goes wrong, right? It could be them getting hurt, it could be us getting hurt, but there has to be a guy on scene who has the ability to keep them alive until we get to where we're going, and that's my job. And this bag has gone with me the last several warrant hits that we've done, or raids, or search warrants, or whatever. I have taken this pack with me, and every time I do it, I fall in love with something just a little bit more. So this is the Mission Medic bag, right? It is not a super large bag. It is very slim profiled. The actual size on this bag is 20 inches tall, 12 inches wide, and about 5.5 inches deep for the main compartment. Now, the way this guy's set up is just a thing of beauty. You can tell that when they actually designed this pack, they were talking to people like me and asking us, hey man, what do you actually need when you're doing stuff like this? And it is very apparent that they listened, because this is about as good as it gets. So looking at the bag itself, I have two pockets on the outside, and I have this kangaroo pouch back here that goes in behind this front pocket. Now, if you were smart and you had something like a Faro Concepts turnover, you can put that triple mag turnover in here, which I have in here now. And what you'll see on the front of this guy is I have a Sore Rescue Med Mag IFAK, and then I have a Sore Rescue Airway kit right here. So those are right here, and then in the middle I have a 20-round mag of my chosen ammunition for what I'm doing at work. And those all live in here. It's pretty freaking awesome. Like I said, you've got like this cells right there, and you can put that turnover in there, and now this thing will hold 3 mags. So it could be even more useful for guys if you're doing stuff. You also have plenty of MOLLE webbing across the front. You have laser cut PALS webbing down the side, and you'll notice I have the 6 buckles here. Now, the way these 6 buckles work is this guy is independent and a part of the system. So the larger system this belongs to is known as the Mission EMOD system. Those of you familiar with Eberlestock, the EMOD system is something we all know. Their mainframe system for their hunting packs is like world class, and they just released their new frame system. But this was the system that was designed for guys like me, guys in the military. It is a very akin, the frame system on it is very akin to an Alice pack. I have a tubular metal frame. I have a hip pad kidney belt with pull forward, which is really important for tightening it up. I have excellent straps on here, same quality you expect from everything. Now, the beauty of the Mission system, though, is it is fully modular. I can unzip this guy off of here, and I can pull this guy off. Now, I've got it buckled into the top. Now, I've got 2 bungee cords, but I can take this off, and you'll notice I have backpack straps on this as well. And the reason that's important is I could literally have the Mission Assault Pack, which I am getting, and then I could have this strapped over the top of it using the compression straps on the side, right? So it's freaking cool. Or I could strip this off if I needed to go lighter weight, ditch the assault part of this, and just carry the medical bag if I needed to do whatever I needed to do. Now the frame itself is fully lined in moly with a loop filled here at the top. So you could take just the frame and put in pretty much whatever you want, man. You could do pouches, you could do, you name it, you could set this guy up for success. And to me, it's just cool. Like I said, it's one of those things you can tell when they were designing it, they were talking to people like me and asking us, what would you do if you had this pack? Because they did all the stuff that we would do. The grab handle's actually sewn into the frame. The frame has excellent padding on the back, really good channel, and more than anything, this frame is designed to work around you wearing hard plates, which is not normal. There are very few companies that do that, and from the bottom of my heart as a dude that has to wear plates when I have this on, thank you. Now, at first glance, you look at this and you're like, that doesn't seem very big. Well, here's the deal. They designed it in such a manner that it is low profile enough that when I am moving through structures with this on, I am not hanging on everything. I'm not getting hung on doorways when I run through. Like, it's a thing. Like, it's just, like I said, it's something about the way they designed this is just insane. So if we look at the two front pockets on the outside of this guy, you'll see I have this here. This is a set of X shears. If you are wanting the baddest to the bone trauma shears on the planet, X shears are the way to go. This is their tactical sheath here. It's kind of awesome because like I have like this ultra secure system here, moly mounted on the front of this guy. So on the outside of my pack, easy access, I can just grab these, snatch them off and go. I also have a set of mosquito forceps in here. They're really important. I can do a lot of stuff with forceps that I may not always be able to do with other things. They're just awesome. So the pockets themselves are actually a lot bigger than you realize. So if we go to this bottom pocket, you'll see this guy here. The way these are designed is freaking amazing. So I have a full loop field on the front, and I wove shot cord into the front of mine. The entire pocket, though, is lined with loop field. And you can see kind of how deep we are in here. There's a SAM splint here in the back, and like my whole hand fits, but if you want to know how big that is, that's a full adult ambu bag. So that is a breathing bag, and I can take this whole bag here, put it in the bottom, and this guy will zip up without a problem, giving me instant access to the ambu bag if I find myself needing it on a scene. And that's cool, because the thing is, when you start dealing with, there's a couple of pieces of kit that are super hard to carry for a guy like me. Ambu bags are one of them, and stretchers and like tubular nylon are another. I can carry the tubular nylon like woven into my stuff or daisy chained on my stuff, but that's not always as effective as you want it to be. So that's the bottom pouch. The top pouch is actually bigger. It's about 1.5 times the size. And what I keep in this guy, you can see it kind of falling out there, right? So on here, I have a multi-purpose webbing. So this is a carabiner tubular nylon hasty harness drag system. I keep it right here because I can actually take this if one of my guys gets hit in a doorway and he's able to make it off the side. I can kind of pitch this in. He can hook himself into it, and I can drag him to me. You could also make hasty litters with it. Tubular nylon has a ton of uses, and you're not really a complete medical system if you don't have it. Now you'll notice the inside of this guy is also lined with loop on the front and the back. And then I have woven my shot cord on the inside of this to hold gloves and stuff. So I have a couple of pairs of nitrile gloves. And then in here, just easy access, I have a space blanket to treat hypothermia. I have a cravat in here for slinging up stuff if I need to. I have some more duct tape, and then I have some 4x4 gauze, right? Nothing real serious in here, right? This is like immediate access stuff, and the top of it is so if you know I get a guy with a boo-boo, I can fix the boo-boo. But sorry guys, we got a spider. I know, somebody's gonna be like, don't kill spiders, man, they're good for people. Not that one. Anyway, back to our regular scheduled programming. So outside of that, you look at this guy, I have a solid piece on the side. Now your brain would tell you, well, how the hell do you get into it? Coolest feature of this bag. So come over the top, come all the way down to the bottom. And the beauty is if I sling this off, if I'm working on somebody at a casual collection point, I'm gonna dump it. And then I'm literally gonna fold this guy open. And that is the inside of this bag. Now I bought my, sorry about that. I bought my patches for this guy here, right? So I have bleeding control. So I have a bleeding one. I have a secondary bleeding one. Where do I have these in? I can't see. PPE and support, as well as chest seals, airway kits, wound care, and medications. On the bottom of this guy, on this side, I have 2 smaller ones and then 2 like accessory panels. The coolest part of this system though, is it doesn't have to stay this way. Let's say we've stopped where we're at. I'm sitting here, I've thrown my bag down. I am working on a casualty. Another guy that has medical training comes in and says, hey, Johnny's hit in the other room. I can rip out this bleeding bag and throw it to him, and he has stuff in here to go treat bleeds. The entire inside of this bag, front and back, is lined in the same loop material with the ladder system on there, so you could actually weave more shot cord inside of this thing if you wanted to. But inside of here, like I said, it's all compressed gauze and hemostatic gauze inside of this one. The next bleeding one down is all pressure bandages. There's 1 pressure bandage in here, and then there's like 3 hemostatics, like 8 things of gauze. The next one down has a pressure bandage, a blast bandage, as well as hemostatic gauze and more gauze. Then chest PPE support. I have 7 pairs of gloves in here. I have 5 pneumo darts, and then I have like 6 sets of chest seals in here. This is just a worst case scenario bag, because you got to think, right? This bag is for raiding a home. This bag is for high-risk warrant service. This bag is for mass casualty or an active shooter. I don't get to pick which one of those I'm going to. This is my system for everything. So it's kind of tailored to the point that no matter where I am at, I am probably never going to be more than about a 7-minute ride to the hospitals, to a hospital from where I am actually actively doing what I'm doing in. Now my airway kit, I don't carry a ton of airway stuff. I carry a couple of King tubes, 28 French MPAs, a Crite kit, and that is all I carry on that as far as airway goes, because if I can't solve it with a King tube, recovery position and stuff, then we have a much larger problem that I need to go with. Then wound care and meds. This is all combi pads, so those 6x9 abdominal pads, just absorbent padding. 4x4 gauze, 2x2 gauze, rolled Kerlex and stuff. This is for treating the ouchie wounds, or like a head wound that bleeds a ton, right? And like I said, again, the beauty of this guy is I can just rip this out no matter what. Now on the inside, I have a ladder molly system, again, laser cut, really freaking cool. So on the front lid of this guy, as I would open it up, on the top panel, I have a soft T tourniquet. I am supposed to have 2 soft Ts. I need to replace one of them that's in there. And typically right here, I have a sharp shuttle. And the sharp shuttle is for any used needles that we have. And I actually had to use that today on the needles that were used today. So that's there. I have another set of gloves bungeed. Now this comes with bungee shot cord with locks in it. Now the pouches on this side are a little more rigid backed, and they're not as volume filled, but they're still plenty big enough to get some stuff we need in it. So I have TCCC cards in here, so casualty cards. I also have gloves, I have triage tape, and I have my chem light sets that I need for green zone, warm zone, and for triage care, right? So I have purple, I have green, I have red, and those are all in here. The second panel down here, I have more cat tourniquets woven into this guy here. I have 2 more cats right here, and then on the bottom of this guy, that is 4 additional emergency space blankets, and then a saline lock kit. Now you will notice in this bag, I don't carry any saline and stuff, right? I have a separate saline bag, but I don't need it. But this is the coolest freaking bag system I think I've ever seen. And like I said, the biggest beauty of this guy is it is made in such a way that it fits me through doors. I don't rip this thing off when I'm running in. When I'm going into like a motorhome or a trailer on a warrant hit, I don't have to worry about this getting hung on stuff. It is just big enough to hold everything I need to do my job, and just small enough that I don't get hung on every freaking thing when I rent like Christmas lights, man. It's always freaking Christmas lights. Now that pack loaded out, as you saw it right there, weighs about 17 total pounds. It's really not that heavy. If I add in my actual additional combat litter that I can, typically it is bungee corded to the outside. It got used today, therefore not in there. I have to replace it. Now the bag itself, without the frame, weighs about 3 pounds, 10 ounces. With the frame, you're about double that. It's really not that bad. It's super comfortable, and it rides amazing over the top of body armor. So the total volume of that bag is 1,717 cubic inches. And typically this is the part where I'm like, heck yeah, man, that's so cool, right? So it's almost a 30-liter bag. But that's not where that bag is cool. That bag is cool because it has so much built-in configurable organization that I can do anything I want to do. And the beauty of that is maybe I have to set this up in a different manner, right? Like maybe some other things are more important. I can reconfigure, change those internal pouches around to fit the needs of what it is that I am intending to do that day. Construction on that guy is 500 denier nylon with a 210 denier internal like liner on the inside. All of the like moly and stuff, the laser cut stuff, is a laminate moly. It is just a fantastic bag. Like when I got it in, I was super excited because I'm a bag geek, right? Like, and I'm a bag nerd too, but I'm also a medical guy. And having somebody that is a bag nerd design a bag with the help of a bunch of guys that are doing operational medical stuff, you get the perfect marriage of those two things in that pack. Now, they're not cheap, man. They're going to set you back several $100s to get your hands on one, but I'll go ahead and let you in on a little secret. Most of the decent medical bags are going to run you that much. They're just expensive. Now, like I said, is it for everybody? No. Now, I am getting the Mission EMOD Assault Pack with the wings. We're just waiting on the right colors to come in stock. And I am really excited to see how that goes. This system also funnels and integrates in with the weapon scabbard system, which you're going to see coming up also, because I'm going to reconfigure this bag in another video and show you it with the assault pack once it's there, with the wings, how I can configure the whole thing to hold a rifle to do everything I need it to do. This is just a cool bag. And one of the things that's cool about that system, right? So I'm a precision marksman, right? That is my primary job, if you will, right? If the push came to shove and they were like, you get one job to do today, I'm going to be on a scoped rifle and I'm going to come in and fix people when things go bad. If there is no need for a precision rifle, like today, for example, which today was pretty much a foot pursuit followed by sketchy shit done to a door, followed by a bunch of people going to jail. When we do that, it is the priority kind of what your job is, right? So in today's environment, you know, I had on a plate carrier. I was wearing a Faro Concepts FC PCV5. I was wearing, I had that on. I was carrying my Griffin Armament Mark II rifle with G2 HRT 5.56 can, and I had that Mission Medic pack on my back. And typically what we'll do when we enter and clear buildings and stuff like that, depending on how big the structure is, if it's a very small structure or we're unsure of the size and we think it may be small, a lot of times that bag will get dumped as we clear a spot, because that will then become my triage area if something goes wrong. Doing the medical side of the house is literally preparing for the worst. Like you are raring to go and you hope you never ever need your skills. But the job itself is so stressful, because you have to think, in the environment in which I work, if I am using that, either we have shot someone or someone has gotten shot. And that is in the middle of a bunch of people screaming and people trying to get away with stuff, and it's a very high stress environment. Now, when we do that, my ability to just react to what I am seeing and start fixing people is what's important of me at that moment, right? To win, what's important now. And what's important now would be me being able to literally dump that bag, flip it open, and start working to save lives and to keep people breathing and not take the room temp challenge. That, in fact, is the most important part of my job. Yeah, knocking doors down and doing a lot of stuff, that's super fun. But the medical stuff, y'all know, like, I'm super passionate about it. And you're far more likely to need it than you ever are the firearms stuff. And that bag has got to be the best, like, purpose-driven design for a field medic, operational medic, a TIMS medic. That thing is awesome. It's one of those things, when I do it, if I'm working with another agency, I always ask, like, who do I have that's medically trained besides me? And then, you know, whoever that is medically trained, I go over, I take them to my bag, and I show them the bag. I'm like, this is the bag. Okay, I break it up, and I'm like, do you understand this bag? And they'll look at it and be like, yep, I know what all that is. Fantastic. Do you have any questions about this bag? Nope. Cool. Zip the bag back up, go to work. That is one of the coolest systems ever. Now, something you couldn't see when I was showing it to you guys is actually behind all of this. There is actually a Velcro loop field, and behind that Velcro loop field, underneath it, there is 2 tabs, and those tabs are made to hold a chem light, right? So at night, if we're doing this in the dark, I can take an IR chem light on here, break that IR chem light. I can always see where my bag is. That's actually pretty important. Also, when people are looking around, the dude with the chem light on his back, that dude fixes people after we get done breaking them, right? Like, that is the goal. And, you know, like I said, it's not for everybody. But even if you're just the Minutemen, you and your group of Minutemen, your friends, right? Your gathering of people, having a dude that is more medically minded is the best option you've got, right? Because in a lot of times, especially we start talking about, like, the world going pear-shaped on us, your medical dudes are not going to be doctors. They're going to be dudes that are like me. And this has got to be one of the single best designed products I have ever tested as far as a bag goes. And I'm an unabashed fan of Eberlestock. They're expensive, yeah, but you get what you pay for, man. Their bags are freaking amazing. This has got to be one of the coolest bags I've ever had the privilege of running. I love it. I will continue to run it. It is a staple in my system now. This is my Mission EMOD Mission Medic pack, set up for what I do, what's important to me, and how do I do my job. That's what that bag's for, and it does that job wonderfully. So like I said, you can find those bags over at my friends at outlastsupply.com, eberlestock.com. Also, there should be a link somewhere on my page for them. If not, I will try to fix that. Hands down the best medic pack I've ever run. I love the way it's set up. I love the fact that I can configure it depending on what we're doing. I can add, I can not add. I can go in there and I can attach more pouches, right? I could attach the Eberlestock rip-off med kits on there and have throw kits if I wanted to. There's so much that you can do with a pack like that. You could take every one of those cells on the left side of the bag or the right side of the bag as you look at it and make every one of them a full IFAK. And now you just have throw kits. If you're in the shit and it's going wrong, man, just chuck a guy an IFAK. Man, here's an IFAK for you, IFAK for you. Everybody gets an IFAK. It's awesome. I just cannot get over how well it's designed. And now that I've not just had it and like carried it around, like, it's gone with me places where bad things happen. And I'm really excited I have it. And I love it. I can't wait. Like, I'm so excited to see the Mission EMOD, like the Mission Assault Pack with the wings, because I can see it in my head. This system built out with the rifle scabbard, the assault pack with the wings on it, clipped into the medic pack on the top, and being able to separate that and do my jobs at all levels that I could possibly find to do my job. Even as far as going, hey, we have another guy that wants to be primary medical. Cool, zip. Here's the medic pack. You take that. I got my assault pack with the stuff I need to make pew pew sounds really far away. It's awesome, guys. I love it. I can't describe it enough. It's just a freaking amazing bag. It just truly is. So, guys, hopefully you found this informative. I know a lot of you had questions about my medical kit, and there you go. I'm still waiting on my stuff from North American Rescue to build the IFAK, because that's just something we're waiting on. So, guys, I am Uncle Freedom. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. And until next time, I'll see you later.